Several offshoots of the Muslim Brotherhood have been designated as terrorist groups here in the U.S., but not the organization itself. Republican Senator Ted Cruz over the years has repeatedly introduced bills that would designate the organization as a terrorist entity, and did so again earlier this month. This week on Inside Capitol, we spoke with several U.S. senators to get their views on the bill.
I think we ought to look very carefully at the Muslim Brotherhood because it has a history of violence and disruption in the region, and I think that designating it as a terrorist organization is certainly deserving of consideration.
Would you support the bill once you study it?
I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at the bill. I want to know not only what the effect is on that organization, but on others in the region as well that may be equally deserving of that designation as a terrorist.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're a terrorist organization. They cause significant unrest. They cause significant issues in the Middle East. So let's be direct with who they are.
There are some that are concerned that it would impact U.S. relations with allies in the Middle East who don't designate the group as a terrorist organization, and that it hasn't met the legal criteria in the past. Is this bill different? Are you concerned about those things?
I'm not worried about that. I mean, they're a terrorist organization.
It's important to be able to identify these various terrorist organizations so that we can deal with them appropriately, because they're not simply just a peaceful organization. They support terrorism and overthrow legitimate governments in the Middle East. So that's why I support it.
I've not seen it. I mean, it's probably something I would support, but I want to look more specifically at the criteria.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but no, I've not seen it yet.
Do you think designating them, I know you have to do more research, would be a helpful tool to bringing peace to that region?
Yeah, I think that what we've seen is that when the United States sort of backs away, like for example with Joe Biden, undesignating the Houthis as a terrorist organization only emboldened people to commit more terrorism. Now, as somebody who believes that our involvement should be restrained, and we don't want U.S. troops on the ground wherever, we can't be the global cop on the beat everywhere in the world, but there are things that we can do that I think can inhibit this kind of activity. And so I think it's a step forward in making sure the region is as safe as possible. And I do think the conditions on the ground, because of President Trump's leadership now with Iran, and not taking the bait from some who wanted the U.S. to be even more involved on the ground in Iran, I do think the conditions now are much better than any time in recent memory for sort of a marching forward of the Abraham Accords. And so I think diplomacy is the path forward here, but we can't tolerate terrorism, that's for sure.
Several countries have designated the organization as a terrorist entity or banned it, including Jordan, the UAE, and Bahrain. In Washington, Shayna Stulin for TV Abraham.